American universities on edge, staring down federal funding cuts to the tune of billions of dollars. Just the tip of the spear in President Trump's culture wars. International students detained, protests in response to it all, and now professors speaking out.
A wave is breaking over American university and college campuses.
A lot of us are really scared, to be frank, that Harvard is going to capitulate.
Trump says he wants to make America great again, and the one thing that's undeniably great in America is U.S. science.
While the president says universities are violating civil rights laws, and more specifically at some institutions, not protecting Jewish students, the cuts to funding are affecting crucial scientific and medical research. We sat down with three professors, Joe Howley from Columbia, Ryan Enos from Harvard, and Scott Pothig from UPenn, who say an attack on universities is an attack on democracy.
Do you feel like you're under attack now at Harvard?
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, professors are scared to say certain things. We send communications over encrypted channels because we're afraid the government will get a hold of it. I mean, our students are afraid to speak on social media because they're afraid that they could lose their visa.
Harvard could stand to lose up to $9 billion in funding and grants that are currently under review. $175 million of funding to UPenn now frozen. And Columbia losing $400 million, then capitulating to most of the administration's demands. Now the status of that money still up in the air.
This stuff is affecting people right now. And if they can break our universities, they'll go on to break other universities.
Just this week, almost $2 billion in funding for Northwestern and Cornell together frozen. And Princeton's president writing in a letter that several dozen research grants have been suspended, adding, quote, the full rationale for this action is not yet clear. The Department of Education saying last month that 60 schools are under investigation for civil rights violations.
The reason in which Harvard is currently being investigated because of claims of anti-Semitism. Have you seen threats against Jewish students, Jewish faculty on the Harvard campus?
I never have, and people I speak to never have. Now, it would be foolish for me to say that there's no anti-Semitism at Harvard, because of course there's anti-Semitism everywhere. We have to be crystal clear that the Trump administration talking about anti-Semitism is a pretext for what they want to do. If it's not anti-Semitism, it would be something else.
I don't think that we should believe any of these people are interested in kind of good faith reforms of how higher education works.
These professors critical of the motives of the Trump administration and concerned about the potential response from their schools. While Columbia gave in to the president, Harvard plans to borrow $750 million from Wall Street in anticipation of losses, while UPenn is weighing its pathway forward.
Is it possible to persuade the boards of regents and trustees who ultimately direct the financial and legal affairs of these universities that the Trump agenda is not in our best interest?
I would rather have them dip into that endowment. I'd rather have them take a loan. I'd rather actually have them cut back on professor salaries a little bit than do something like capitulate to the Trump administration.
Professors at Harvard banded together, signing a letter urging the university's administration not to give in to the president's demands.
Over 800 faculty signed that letter.
Even Harvard's former president, Larry Summers, penning an op-ed saying the school should stand up to Trump and tap the multi-billion-dollar endowment if necessary. We reached out to Harvard and did not hear back. Columbia telling us in part the actions and ongoing work that Columbia has committed to undertake will make our university a better, stronger place free of all forms of discrimination.
The U.S. government is basically trying to shut down, my area of research, biology, but across the university, faculty are scared to death.
UPenn directing NBC News to a previously released statement, saying in part, quote, Penn's leadership is directly engaged with public officials to advocate vigorously for the essential role of higher education, scientific discovery, our values, and our service to the greater good.
Now we see when somebody wants to attack democracy, they attack universities. The founders understood that.
As Thomas Jefferson once said, quote, if a nation expects to be ignorant and free in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and never will be. Yasmin Vossoughian, NBC News.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.